Welcome to the Agape Spiritual Center. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. Hey, listen, we're doing this live all over the world on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're out there, please write down the city that you're from, or the state, or the country that you're watching from. Let people know that this is an international community and where everyone is. Also, today we're going to be talking about how to free yourself from stress. So I would invite you, after you check in, write down what area of life do you struggle the most with in stress. I think it's interesting because if I get a handle on that, I can address those areas in my upcoming talk series. So by you putting that out there, that helps me help you get clarity and also help a lot of other people, because if you're experiencing it, guess what? So many other people are experiencing it as well. And the thing about the world today, it is moving faster than ever. And the key thing is, are you able to keep up? Are you able to deal with it? So I'm so grateful that you joined us here today. I want you to know last week we passed the 9,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to YouTube. Our next goal is within 2 months to be at 10,000. And I look forward to doing that. Why? Then more and more people can get this message. More and more people can question, ask intelligent questions, and raise their vibration and be able to create a different life for themselves. So with that in mind, if you've checked in, put your city, your state, your country, tell me the area of life where you feel the most stress. Say hi to everybody out there. Connect with other people. Tell them hello. And with that, I'm going to slow us down and I'm going to actually get us centered. So if you would, take a moment and just get in a comfortable seated upright position. Your back straight, your hands gently resting on your lap. Close your eyes and simply bring your attention to your breath. The simple act of breathing in and breathing out, and realize that with each breath, you're not only breathing in oxygen, you are breathing in life energy. With every breath, you're moving that life energy throughout your entire body, your mind, and actually creating an energy field around you, an aura. So consciously see that life energy that you are breathing as light, a golden white light that surrounds you, that protects you, that heals you, that guides you, where you are safe, secure, and at peace. With every breath, go deeper into that state of peace. And feel your mind just dissolving. No thoughts. The past disappears. The future disappears. You are in the now. You're in the allness and the nothingness. You are one with all that exists. You are a drop of water within the ocean. And in this moment, you have no boundaries. The infinite flow of life is moving through you. Infinite wisdom is available to you. Whatever answer to whatever question you are seeking, open your mind to receive and allow the intelligence that you are tapped into in this very moment to birth within you the next answer, the next step, the next thought that leads you to a greater and greater sense of awareness. Just listen. Everything happens in the silence. It is our gift to ourselves to be still and know that we are. That the divine is us individualized. Breathe that in. And now gently with love, bring your attention back to this time, to this space, into your body. Gently move your shoulders, your arms, your hands. And when you're ready, open your eyes and welcome this perfect day. Yesterday, I went to a nature center and I did a 5-kilometer hike in the woods. And what was real interesting is that the terrain in there changed. Sometimes it was dry, sometimes it was wet, but it wasn't really a problem. And I got about 3/4 of the way through and I looked at the path, and the path was totally submerged in water. And so I looked around as opposed to panicking. I looked around and I said, oh, if I go way over here, I can make it around and I'll be okay. Just a little bit of water I have to deal with. So I did that. And then I got to the other side and there was another couple coming, going the opposite direction from me. And the woman who was in the couple said, we've got to turn back. We can't go. It's all wet here. And she could not effectively deal with the change. She had wanted it to be dry because she said, I was hoping it would be dry. But because the environment had changed, she wanted to stop the journey. And I gently and lovingly said, if you take the path over there, you'll find that there's almost no water. And once you get to the other side of this, the rest of the journey will be a very dry one. See, the difference is that we have to develop this idea that life is changing. And if we don't change with it, we will feel stress. And that's exactly what that woman, she wanted to go through this. She had 2 dogs. She had her husband there, and they wanted to go through this. But because of the changing environment, she felt stress and she was willing to just give up. So today, my first part of my series that I'll begin today is how to free yourself from stress. You see, and I think one of the most important things that we do is if we're going to deal with stress, if we're going to free ourselves from stress, I think it's probably really good that we have a really good working understanding of what stress is. And I've asked well over 100 people in the last week and a half to give me their definition of stress. And everyone came from different ways. And being honest, a lot of people really didn't have a clear definition of stress. So I'm going to offer you a definition for you to consider. Stress is our inability to adapt to a changing environment. It's our inability to adapt to a changing environment. And this inability is based on our perceptions and our expectations. So in order to adapt, what do we need to do? We need to shift our perceptions. We need to change our expectations. But you see, that's not what we're taught. We're not taught anything about how to deal with stress, are we? Most people are in stress all the time, whether it's work, whether it's relationships, whether it's money, whether it's health. It doesn't matter. There's stress going on all the time because why? Change is happening all the time. And that's just something we just don't understand. We have the ability in any moment to either hide from or consciously choose how to deal with an ever-changing environment. Most of the time, people try to hide from the change. They try to pretend that the change doesn't exist. Well, wait a second. I don't have high blood pressure, but yeah, wait a second. The blood pressure reading on the device says you do have high blood pressure. No, it was a fluke. Well, when you start thinking that, what's going on in the back of your mind? I did test for high blood pressure. Was I lying to myself about it? And then it starts to become a worry. instead of understanding that high blood pressure is caused by stress. Stress is caused by either a mental condition or a physical condition. And we have the ability to deal with it. We have the ability to adapt to it if we change our perception or our expectation. But you see, most of the time, we're so hung on, we're so attached to that expectation. We're so attached to our perceptions, thinking that they're the truth, and they're not the truth. They're just things that we blindly have bought into over time. And we didn't even buy into them because we didn't think of them. Someone else gave them to us, and we just accepted them as such. You see, when it comes to stress, the more rigid we are and the more we push back, the greater the stress becomes. When you're pushing against something, it's pushing back, more stress. When you're arguing with someone, more stress. Here's the thing I've come to understand. Don't try to argue with anyone. Don't try to convince anyone. Do you know why? Because you can't. They're not going to change. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, another person is not going to change based on anything you do or say. What you can do is you can plant seeds of thought, seeds of question that maybe they'll consider, and then they'll change whenever they feel they're ready. But you're not going to change anyone. So get rid of the stress right there of trying to convince others to your way. Give that up. It's not worth trying. And you say, oh, Lee, it is. I've got to change the world. No, you can't. See, the key to relieving stress is to surrender. In this case, surrender into understanding that you cannot change someone. The key is surrender into your breath. If you're starting to feel stress in your life, whether it's physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, whatever it is, just start taking some very deep breaths. Take 10 deep breaths. In for a count of 6 and out for a count of 6. You will slow your mind down, your body will become stabilized, and you will become less stressful. I would then say, surrender to the moment. In other words, don't bring the past in. Stop thinking about the past. Quit bringing it into the now. And stop thinking about the future, because the future is a projection of the past for us. And if we've had let's say it's a relationship, and we've had negative experiences in relationship, and we start seeing someone else and we start taking that past, projecting it into the future, we're creating all these problems that don't even exist today, but in our mind, we're making them exist. And even though the person, we've only been on, let's say, 2 dates with them. Even if you've been with someone for so long, you're creating and regenerating the same stress by what you're bringing from the past in. Give the other person a break. More importantly, give yourself a break and just be in the moment. Just be in the moment with that person. That's where love exists, in that moment. Osho was talking in a reading that I did the other day of a form of meditation, where he said that meditation, love, were the exact same thing. He says, because when you're in meditation and you're in love, number one, all desire disappears. Number two, you're so fully present in the moment that there is no past, there is no future. And number three, when you're in love and you're in meditation, the ego, the I, disappears. That is the purest state of love. It's the purest state of connection. It's the only state where we can experience oneness with life. So surrender into the moment. Then I would say, as a tool, surrender into meditation. Let meditation become a part of your daily life. And don't do it because you have to. No, surrender into it. Allow it to fill you. Allow yourself to let go and become still and know the allness, know the I am. Surrender, bringing your focus into something completely different. Think about that, how brilliant that is. Think about it. If you're focused on something that's really got you going, like work, and you're not at work, focus on being fully present with your children. Focus on being fully present with the hobby you're in. Be fully focused on creating food, eating food. Be focused on something else. Take your mind off of that which is giving you stress. There's no reason that you have to keep focusing on something other than you're choosing to do that. Some people say, well, Lee, that's compartmentalizing. And I say, well, yeah, I don't need to focus on work when I'm not at work. I don't need to focus on my wife when I'm not with my wife. I need to focus on the moment. But we forget that. No, I've got to focus. Oh, no, I think about my wife all day long. I think about my partner all the time, all the time. Well, that's sort of silly, isn't it? You're denying yourself the moment. You're denying yourself the experience with other people, with other adventures. So when you're out of a situation, focus on something different. Focus on comedy. That'll help. Focus on exercise. That'll help. All these things. Here's something that I've got from the standpoint of the mind, how to deal with stress. Go back to where the stress began and reframe your expectation or perception. So if you knew that stress began when you did this event with this person, go back and reframe it. Think about it differently. You can recreate anything in your mind, and whatever you create in your mind will believe. A dream can be as real to your mind as your actual experience. Now keep in mind, is your actual experience a dream? The answer is yes. Why? Well, Lee, no, it was real. It really wasn't real. It was your perception of the event that you believe was real. But your perception is not the truth about the event. It's the dream you've created about the event. And so are we living a dream? Yes, we are. How are we living that dream? Through our perception and our expectations. So when you feel stress, remember, it's your dream that's causing it. So all you have to do is reframe where you're coming from, to reframe the dream, and that power exists in you. Another thing that can help you deal with the stress, do something physical that requires you to focus and take your mind off that which causes you stress. That's why going to the gym, playing tennis, taking a jog, taking a walk, being in nature, so beneficial. So beneficial. Not only is it good for your mental state, it's good for your body. Your body's not meant to sit. And here we are now in 2021, and how much of our day do we spend just sitting on our keister? Sitting on our keister. We're not meant to do that. We're meant to move. So bring balance back by incorporating something physical into your life every day. And when you're stressed, one of the things I do is I'll go take a walk, or I'll go to the gym and really hit some weights. Maybe it's punching a bag. Maybe it's doing karate. Maybe it's something physical as simple as I'm going to cook. I'm going to make bread, so I'm going to spend time kneading that bread. It doesn't matter what you do physical, as long as it takes your mind off of that which has caused you stress. The key to dealing with stress is to be able to take a step back and begin to observe the situation, and then to reframe it in a way that it is manageable for you. We've talked about expectations today. One of the things that causes most stress is the fact that we have set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, or we've allowed others to set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, expectations that we cannot meet within a time frame. And think about it, it's unrealistic and you buy into it, stress will come from it. Change your expectation. Shift it. Make it more reasonable. If you have an expectation, I'm going to lose 25 pounds in the next month and a half, 2 months, unrealistic. Going to cause you great stress, almost a 99% probability that you will fail. But if you shifted your expectation to something as simple as, I'm going to change my eating habits, change my physical activity, and I am going to commit to an expectation of losing a half a pound a week. That's a realistic expectation. What happens if you live to that expectation? That means in 24 weeks, 25 weeks, 26 weeks, a year, a year, you will have lost 26 pounds because you shifted your expectation. You will achieve success because it's manageable. Nature has already shown us that in order to survive the storm, a tree must be flexible. Otherwise, the wind will snap it in two. Have you ever been there watching when there's 50, 60 miles winds? I have, and I've seen it in Rhode Island. I've seen it in Michigan. I've seen it in Tampa. I've seen it here in Texas. But you notice that when that tree is able to bend, when it's flexible, it goes with the wind. But when the tree is too rigid, it snaps. Here's the key. Life is happening faster than ever. The world is changing faster and faster. And the key to our ability to thrive is not to be attached to things, but to be flexible. Do not be attached to the way things have been, because the world is changing. And when the world changes, we must change. I know that to be true for this thing that we call the Agape Spiritual Center. With COVID, with being locked, not being able to be together for a year, just about a year. In 1 week, it'll be a year since we did our last service before we went into lockdown. The world has changed. It will never go back to the way it is. So what's going to change? How are we going to change this and make this work? I'm not sure, but I'm asking the question. I'm here with you right now. Some of you are watching this live. Some of you will watch it after the fact. But you're watching it. We're reaching 20 times more people today than we did a year ago. But we're reaching them differently. Is the new way right or wrong? No, it's just the new way. So as you start to look at your life, as you start to consider your life, realize things will continue to change, and you must, if you want to thrive, change with them. If you don't, your stress will continue to evolve. And before you know it, you will be suffering from a mental or a physical dis-ease. The key thing to remember is that disease can be healed when you shift your mind and you focus on being a flexible, powerful creator of your life. Remember, you control the dream. You are the director. You are the observer. You are not the victim. Be flexible. Be real flexible and experience the magnificence that is life. Let us pray. I simply know that there is one. It is infinite, it is all-knowing, it is everywhere present, it has always been, it always will be. I know that it is the seen and the unseen, the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. But what I also know is that I am an individualization of it. I am one with it. I'm a unique expression of infinite love. And as such, I know that the infinite mind, the infinite wisdom is right where I'm at right now. And it is right where you are right now. And I now make a declaration that I live my life as a flexible expression of love. And I make that declaration for each person listening that they now develop the flexibility of an acrobat, that they can bend and move and shift and shape to whatever the situation is calling for them to be, to do, to adjust to. I know that it happens with ease, with grace. I know that they become a living example to all those around them. So together, as this group of awakened beings, in our ability to be flexible, we become a light in the world, and we demonstrate how to be flexible, how to relieve the stress, how to adapt to this new environment. And others see us, and they follow the way. Because we are demonstrating it so beautifully, so clearly, that they tap into that same power. I claim and know a deep sense of inner peace for myself that is proven to me every day as I surrender into meditation, as I surrender into the moment, as I surrender now. I claim that for each of you as well. Every time I breathe and every time you breathe, life force enters, nourishes, life force leaves, and purifies. Everything is in balance because that is the natural state, the natural state of love, of God, of me, and of you. And my heart overflows with gratitude. And in gratitude, I place this prayer into the infinite mind that I know accepts it and makes it so. And so I bless it and I call it good. And I say, and so it is. Amen. Well, today is a busy day. Not only have we just done Sunday celebration, but today I start a class at 1:30 with a group of people from Europe and several people from the United States. We're doing the basics of science of mind. If you wanted to join that class, you're welcome to. You'll just have to get your book during the week, but you could join me. Or you could join the same class that starts tomorrow, because we have 2 classes on the basics of science of mind. To do that, go to AgapeCSL.com, click on classes, and you'll find a registration link. To let you know that a week from this coming Tuesday, I'll be starting the 5 agreements. And if you'd like to sign up for that class, you can do so simply again by going to the AgapeCSL.com. I want to invite you now to make a donation to show your support for Agape, so that by your gift, we're able to bring this message to more and more people. So if you found value in what you heard today, I would highly ask that you make a donation to Agape. There's a link on Facebook, there's a link on YouTube, or if you go to AgapeCSL you'll find a give button. Please support us so that we can continue to support you and to support all those who are seeking this information. I want you to know that here at Agape, we are here to support you. But in order to support you, you've got to first let us know. I teach people day in and day out. If you need support, you ask. We do not read minds. We can't read minds. But if you ask for spiritual support, rest assured, myself or one of our practitioners will take you into prayer, will counsel with you, and support you as you go through whatever it is you're going through. So if you're out there Share this message with a friend. Share this with a family member that you know that might be needed. Stop keeping this message of what you're watching in the closet. It's time to bring it out into the world. And I want you to know something. You're a very special person because you're unique. And your uniqueness is what makes all of this come together perfectly. Without you, the universe would not be what it is. So if no one tells you this today, I will. I love you and I accept you just like you are. So go be you. That's the gift. You are the gift, just as you are. Until next time, aloha.